Wednesday, 26 August 2026. 3 Asia-Pacific AI stories before your first coffee. Beijing's Xiaomi, unveiled the X-Ring 03, its second in-house flagship mobile processor, with a commercial debut set for September inside the Xiaomi 18 Fold. The chip is designed in Beijing, but fabricated by TSMC on the 3nm N3P process, making it a play for design independence rather than full manufacturing sovereignty. Reporting identifies Changshin Memory Technologies as the LPDDR6 partner, which would mark the first domestically developed Chinese LPDDR6 paired with a flagship processor, though the initial production run sits at just 200,000 to 300,000 units. Why it matters. Xiaomi's proving it can architect a competitive mobile SoC while still relying on Taiwan for fabrication, a template other Chinese handset makers will study closely. Builders working on the mainland AI and semiconductor stack should note that the real self-sufficiency gain here is in memory, not logic. If Changshin's LPDDR6 performs at flagship grade, it opens a domestic supply path that Oppo, Vivo, and their upstream AI inference workloads could eventually tap. Capital allocators should weigh this against Xiaomi's cost. Second quarter revenue fell just over 6%, and net profit dropped roughly a fifth, meaning the chip program is being funded through margin compression. The second order effect to track is whether TSMC's willingness to take this order faces any political friction as US export controls tighten. So, Taiwan's Keelung District Prosecutor's Office indicted 9 people on Monday for routing 74 super microservers carrying Nvidia B300 processors to mainland China, with 50 of those units transshipped through Indonesia to obscure their destination. The defendants include an Nvidia Taiwan distribution manager and 2 super micro sales managers, facing charges of breach of trust, document forgery, and in 3 cases, embezzlement, with prosecutors seeking maximum 5-year terms for 4 of the accused. A further 56 servers declared for Japan were intercepted by Taiwanese customs before leaving the island. Why it matters. The control that failed here was not a government export game, but Nvidia's own internal rule requiring on-site customer verification for orders above 8 high-end servers. That puts pressure on every major chip vendor and server OEM operating distribution networks across Asia to prove their compliance layers actually hold, not just exist on paper. Capital allocators backing AI infrastructure plays in the region should expect tighter due diligence requirements from both Taipei and Washington, particularly on transshipment routes through Southeast Asia. The Indonesia corridor used in this case will draw immediate scrutiny, and distributors across ASEAN should prepare for slower customs clearance on high-end compute hardware as enforcement catches up to the supply chain workarounds. Now, Stuttgart's Porsche signed a 5-year, €1.25 billion AI agreement with Tata Consultancy Services covering engineering, manufacturing, operations, and customer experience. In the same transaction, Porsche is selling its Ludwigsburg-based management and IT consultancy MHP to TCS for an enterprise value of €320 million. MHP employs more than 4,500 people, will keep its brand, and continues to serve its existing clients, while TCS stands up a dedicated AI mobility center of excellence for Porsche once the acquisition closes. Why it matters. The deal structure ties a major acquisition to committed outcome-based revenue rather than billable headcount, a model that capital allocators across Asia's IT services sector will watch closely. TCS, India's largest IT exporter, now locks in a more key European OEM as a multi-year AI transformation client, giving it a reference case to pitch similar engagements to automakers in Japan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia. Builders inside TCS gain a dedicated automotive AI vertical with real production data, which accelerates capability that can be repackaged for the region's own mobility players. The second order effect worth tracking, whether rival Indian IT firms, Infosys and Wipro among them, respond with their own acquisition-led outcome-tied AI deals to avoid losing ground in the auto vertical. That is your AI in Asia briefing for today. Stay sharp, build well, see you tomorrow.